Everybody. Awesome. All right. So people are jumping in. I know they're going to watch on Facebook. And so basically, one happy Thursday. We are starting these remix roundtables, honestly, because we realized that, in our classes, we're stronger when we do things together, and it's the same. I feel like this community is so amazing, and often we're dealing with a lot of similar things, or we have a lot of the same sort of topics that we want to cover, or things that we want to go on. And I think we're stronger when we come together, when we connect, when we collaborate, when we share ideas, thoughts. A lot of times, when you say things out loud, or you just hear others, you're like, ooh, that's something I need, and something that would be beneficial to me. Also, in addition to that, Trisha and I are always trying to improve as individuals, as as a team, and really just to constantly be investing into remix, so that we can make the whole experience so much better. So not just classes, classes are so important, having that mix of, variety, but also the variety in the community, the connection. We are actually in a lot of business groups, and we have found this to be super, super beneficial to kind of collaborate with other females. And, sometimes when they bring things up, it's like, ooh, you weren't even thinking about it, but it's something that you needed, and vice versa. It helps you kind of bring things out as well. So with that being said, we actually do this. So we started this with our gold members, who, when they upgrade, basically they get a VIP call with us every month, and then they get to be a part of these calls. And we just found them to be super beneficial. So we wanted to open it up and do some of these with, our larger membership. And with recently, the topic that we covered with our gold members was obstacles that come in your way, and how you can set goals kind of no matter what obstacles come at you. So if you'd like, feel free to put in the chat anything that gets in your way, from taking care of yourself. And that's not just from a fitness perspective. That's from a, eating healthy, it could be time, it could be being busy, it could be people, you prioritizing other things, anything that you have to deal with. Please just add to the group, and you can also unmute yourself at any point and even add, but it's nice to kind of just start putting them there, so we can see them, and so that we can kind of tackle them for you. But it's interesting. I feel like, without even looking at the chat yet, most people say they're busy, they have a lack of time, they get distracted, they often they put everyone else, they put their family, they put work, they put every other thing in front of themselves. And what we need to do is realize that there's always going to be these things in our way, kind of anticipate them, and then have a backup plan. So, know what you want to accomplish, know what's important to you, know that these things happen because they tend to be very common and kind of often happen to us often. So knowing them and kind of tackling them head on. So that, and Trisha's going to kind of jump into this, but interesting enough, just reading the chat. So long work hours, long days, lack of sleep, stress, time, kids' sports schedules, managing your time. All of these are very, very common. What tends to happen is, you start your week and you just kind of go, and you're, okay, I'm going to get work done. I'm going to get everything at home done. You're stressed out. You feel like putting, all of your effort in getting everything done is going to help you out. And interesting enough, there's so much science behind this, but taking care of yourself, fitting time in for you, making yourself a priority, all of those things feel like less intense, and you almost can handle more. It's like you get more energy from exercise, you feel better when you eat better. So taking those little extra steps to really take care of yourself go a long way, and you can handle so much more. So just going to kind of keep going with that.
Yeah, I mean, so true. And I think before you kind of dive into, okay, here are my obstacles, here's how I'm gonna tackle them and overcome them and reach my goals, I think a big, huge piece of it is mindset. And I think if you've heard, yes, my own mind, if you've heard of fixed mindset versus growth mindset, like you can set, drop it in the chat, like, yes, I know what you're talking about. So basically, if you have a fixed mindset, it's basically means you are like you're born with it if you're fixed mindset. So it's like, oh, I am a morning person or I'm not a morning person. That's a fixed mindset. Or I'm artistic or I am not coordinated. All those things are more fixed mindset. If you have a growth mindset, then you're more, what's the word I'm looking for? You're more flexible in your thinking. You are able to realize that, oh, maybe I am not great at waking up in the mornings, but I have the potential to get there. There's always room to grow. And I think a lot of the times everyone is guilty of having that fixed mindset. You don't even realize it sometimes. You're like, ooh, I'm not this person, or that's not me. I mean, how many of us before we start working out are like, I'm not really a workout person. That's not me. Or, oh, I don't do virtual classes. Yeah, all those things, so many of us internalize and we think like this is not me, when instead if we kind of open up our eyes and even just acknowledging that those feelings and that mindset and bringing awareness to it, it can help us grow so much more. There's something too that they say with kids. Like I used to be an elementary school teacher, and when you're teaching kids, they always say, when kids say, "Oh, I can't do this, I can't read," always adding the word "yet" in there. Like, oh, you may not be able to read yet. You will be able to read. There's things that you can do, steps you can take to get there. So always adding that little word in there, yet, is a really good way to change your mindset. So I think everyone, yes, the power of yet is huge. So anytime you are in your head, just try to take some time to acknowledge it. Say, am I am I going back to that fixed mindset? Can I add the word yet there? Think about that. I'm loving the comments. Yeah. So if anyone struggled with that, I know I have. Honestly, I say this a lot, but I was not a morning person. I've said that so many times, keep saying it. And now look at me, waking up. I keep saying it, but I keep waking up at 6 a.m. And you know what? Who says I have to be a morning person or not a morning person? There's another line that I love is, don't believe everything you think. All right. Just because you're thinking in your head doesn't make it true. So that's just
And
one little
actually, to
thing.
piggyback off of that, interesting enough, I feel like as crazy as this past 2 years has been, it has one taught us that we have to be flexible. We have to be able to adapt. And so we are all able to do that. It's just changing that mindset to like, I haven't done it yet, or like, I know I can. You may not be there yet, and that's okay. And we're all a work in progress. Like, I feel like I am trying to work on myself every single day. And actually, we'll talk about like things that you can do, but I'm actually kind of putting myself out there even more as if I'm not already out there. I feel like everyone's like, okay, you're a lot to handle. But like, I don't enjoy, I love entertaining. I don't love cooking, but but I do, but I'm like, I love good food. So could I just make simple things? And also I just really want to drink more water. So I told everyone, like, literally, I said, if you see me and I don't have a water bottle in my hand, you're allowed to yell at me. And just like saying it out loud, look, Trisha's like drinking water, but yeah, see, like, Barb, I see, oh yeah. And honestly, it's kind of contagious. Like and it's a healthy habit, so I feel like I'm even helping others by just kind of like putting it out there. So it's really just, I don't have like a constant like thirst, but I know water's so good for me. So, and I can drink more. It's possible, so just changing that mindset a little bit, and also setting yourself up for success, which Trisha's going to talk about.
Yeah. So if anyone, before we move on to creating those SMART goals, if you have something that you've been kind of holding on to, that with that fixed mindset, if you want to drop it in the comments, something that you want to work on, that you want to let go of and think, you know what, I'm going to try to grow. I mean, Jennifer, she's a dance teacher, dance instructor. How many times have people have said to you, I'm just not coordinated? I feel like everyone always says that. And
So it's all the time. But I get them to do it at the end of class, not realizing they're doing it.
exactly, it's so true. And I feel like just you saying that I'm not a coordinated person, you not yet. You know, you it's just, it's a skill like everything else is. The more you practice, the more you work at it, the better you'll be at it, and you'll be dancing just like Jennifer does in class.
Wait, Jen, I still don't know that you can call us coordinated. It's okay though, because you're moving. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And I think there's also this perception around, like having to do it, the best or, know it at the end. Like we all have this, like, I want to be here. We all love the end goal. And what's interesting is life is, the phrase, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Like that's our lives. We want to be healthy for the rest of our lives. And so to, put those stipulations in, like I'm not coordinated, so I'm not going to do it. Or yeah, perfection gets in the way of progress 100%. I have to be a sweaty mess to get a great workout in. Or, if I can't get an hour in or 45 minutes in, then it's not even worth it. I doing popping into class 10 minutes into 3 different classes in a day is way better than not doing anything at all. So it's just, really realizing that life throws us stuff, but we can handle this. And also not labeling yourself, because we do put ourselves into buckets. And you don't need to be put into a bucket, because I think sometimes then we get stuck in the bucket. And you don't need to be put into a group. You can decide whatever works best for you, but make sure that it works for you. So
100%.
feel free, again, if there's anything you can put in the chat. You also can always unmute yourself. If there's like something as we're saying it that really comes to mind, please do, because, and I think as we do these more, you'll feel also even more comfortable, but it's interesting hearing, everyone's perspective. So feel free to chime in. But Trisha, you're going to talk about sort of SMART goals and how, like.
Yes. If you've heard of SMART goals, you can raise your hand or raise your hand. Okay. I'm such a school teacher. Thank you, Barb. She raised her hand. But anyway, really, SMART goals. A lot of times, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I've always preached SMART goals. Like, you should do SMART goals. They're great. And then I've found in the past that I've just not made them. Or I made them and then they floated away and I just never really looked at them again. So there's some tips on how to really create them so that you actually are keeping track of them and you actually achieve them. Sarah, what did you say? Yes. Yeah. A lot of us are. I feel like a lot of us struggle to not only create those goals, but to create them and to check in with them. So SMART, it stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and then time bound. So you aren't good at them yet. They're perfect, Mary Kate. Yes. So you really want to make your goals as specific as possible. All right. They need to be something that you can measure too. So it can't just be like, ooh, I want to be healthy. How are you going to measure that? Is it, what, I want to take at least 3 remix classes for the next 4 weeks. And then that's a way where you have an end date. It's easy to measure. You can check it off a nice little list. And at the end of the 4 weeks, you can say, ooh, did I accomplish this? Yes or no? Versus leaving it so open-ended. And here are some tips that you can have with that. So first of all, when you're creating these goals, stick with 1 to 3. All right, I know I'm guilty too. I want to do every single thing. I want to read more. I want to get better sleep. I want to work on my morning routine. I want to do all these millions of things. But starting with 1 to 3 like goals that you can really focus on, even if it's just one at a time, you're more likely to achieve it. Because think about it, if you're trying to do a million things at once, your brain is all over the place and it's hard to get it done. So focusing on the 1 to 3 is really, it's smart. It's smart to do, smart goal. Then once you got your goals down, I always like to come up with a why for each goal. Why do I even want to achieve this goal? Like, what's it in it for me? Am I doing this because I want to get compliments, or am I doing this like so I feel good and I live a long life. So I think that's really important. And then writing that why down, writing those goals down, writing your why down, and having it in a place where you can refer back to it often. So it can always remind you. Something that we recently were watching, Mary Kate, I think you probably watched it too. We do this group and she talks about triggers. And I think it is really helpful to have those triggers in place. Because like I said before, I've written down goals and then they just disappeared into the wind. So having those little triggers to remind you of your goals are really important. So you could do it a few different ways. You could be like Mary Kate and set 5 million alarms.
It helps unless you're recording something and then, or you don't know where your phone is and you annoy everyone around you. But alarms are great.
But they really are helpful. You could use alarms. You could be a little more strategic with your alarms. You don't have to go crazy with the alarms, but it is helpful to set an alarm into the future, or you could put in your calendar and have a little reminder pop up. I've been doing that a lot and that really helps. So I know, like I have a goal set for 4 weeks. So I have a little reminder in my calendar that will pop up in 4 weeks and say, hey, how's that going? Which is really great. What are these? These are, yes, always keeping yourself accountable. And then Katie says, I read somewhere that you should write your goal as if it's been accomplished already. Ooh, I love that. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day and write down 3 things I'm grateful for. Doing that instead of saying I will wake up is said to change your mindset. Oh, I love that so much. That's amazing, Katie. Yeah, so if you write it where it's already set in your mind, then it's so much easier to be like, oh, I'm already doing this. It's not even a big deal. It's already done. I love that so much. So having those triggers, reminder, you can do it on your phone, little post-it notes. So something that I posted today, because we were talking about what's the first thing you do in the morning. And for me, unfortunately, it's been just, I always like grab my phone immediately. So what I want to try to do instead is having a little post-it note, like don't look at your phone and just right by my bed. So when I wake up, I see the note and I'm like, okay, don't do it. Stop it. So it's just a right there, nice little note. Any other triggers you can think of, Mary Kate, while I'm going through them?
Well, and so I think just knowing that it's like anything to set yourself up for success. So it may be helpful. I know we said like water obstacles, but if anyone wants to maybe just give me one, if you're like, it's okay, I can be put on the hot spot. Like this is something that I deal with. And if not, I'm just going to end up picking something, but an obstacle that you want to work on. And then we can kind of help you figure out how to set yourself up for success. Anybody? Or I'm gonna just look overly so I'm overly accountable and responsible in my work life, hence once I slip personally, I have patience for me, always have patience for other. Yes, okay, so that's it. So Aunt Barb, that's it. I love that. And actually
I was actually typing that before you asked the question, so it didn't.
Oh, really?
Oh,
okay. So
I was gonna say you wrote that really quick.
Yes, and actually interesting. So before we tackle this, Trish and I are full believers and have actually really benefited from this by like appreciating people's successes and pointing them out, because I feel like then it can help like give you motivation. So Aunt Barb, I am going to call you out, but my Aunt Barb did put herself into several buckets. So she is incredibly successful in work, always puts work and everyone else in front of her. When we went, so she used to drive from Jersey to come to remix classes in person. And then the pandemic hit, which is also really amazing and also excessive, but because she knew it worked, so she would drive down. It was like her little thing that she did on Saturdays. And then we went virtual for because of the pandemic. And then as soon as things started opening up, she's like, well, I'm not a virtual like I was just doing it because I had to. So like I'm back in person. And then we, several months went by and you were really not seeing the results that you wanted to. And you kept saying like, I don't get this. I don't understand. And because you put yourself out there, I said, I know when you have success is when you have accountability. And when you don't, like, sometimes you have this, like, I want to be drenched in sweat. And some of our classes you do that, and some of our classes you don't. And it's good to do the things that you enjoy. So to do those things, but like also understand that there's a benefit to all these other things. And I think it's nice to have a buddy and to have like, like this room also just to have, you know, whether it's the instructors or whether it's other people to take classes with. So my Aunt Barb was like, you're right, and asked my mom to be her buddy. And so now they take virtual classes. And I will tell you, after my Aunt Barb recommitted to herself, she looked incredible for my cousin's wedding. Literally, the seamstress was like, you have to stop because I can't take this dress in anymore. So that's just something to, one, for all of us to learn. Like, she took herself out of this like all or nothing bucket, or I just have to be in person, I have to do this, and really was like, you know what, I want a buddy, I want to show up, I want to be consistent, I want to see the results that I have. And so then now I think we're at this point where she had this goal of my cousin's wedding, you know, her son, but you want to be consistent. And so I think it's, you know what happens. Work gets in the way and everything else gets in the way. So what did you do during those months that got you to where you wanted to be? And how do you keep doing that? And that means it's not just a wedding to look forward to. It's not just, an event. Or if that is motivation for you, then we need to pick another event. We need to pick something that you're really excited about, and that's what you're working towards. And then once you hit that, you do it again. So, because if that's something that like really gets you going, then like pick the event, and then go back to what did work. And what did work was having that buddy. So whether it's my mom or it's Ange, her daughter-in-law, or Ange's cousin, Erin, having that texting group where you know that you're showing up to class, but also not making it a negotiable. So a big thing, and this is, I'm saying this because of, big, like busy work life and just like kind of letting yourself go to the wayside, but you need to be a non-negotiable. So I say this a lot during a lot of VIP calls, because a lot of people say they're busy, whether it's work or home or what have you. You wouldn't miss a school appointment, a doctor's appointment, something that is important at work, something is important to your family. You wouldn't miss it. Why are you canceling on yourself? Why are you not putting it in your calendar and showing up for yourself? Because you show up for others, you show up for work, you show up, you should apply the exact same thing. And in fact, when you do that, you feel like so much better. I just took care of myself, so now I can take it on. But if you cancel on yourself, you're already feeling off. You're already feeling like, I wanted to do that. And it's okay to have to change up how you do it. So the way again, making it attainable. So say you want to be consistent working out on Sundays, because I like Sunday just to kind of like prepare for the week. On Sunday, you look at your calendar and you book your classes.
That is a go-to for me, Mary Kate. That's my success right there. Yeah, that's my success. That's what keeps me in it to win it. It does. And then
it's like a work, just like you would show up for a Zoom call or for a meeting or what have you, you're not going to miss that. So I think that's one really, really important. The other thing I always just mention is have a backup. So book, if your goal is to take 2 or 3 classes, let's say your goal is 2 classes, right? Book 3. If you make all 3, first of all, it's a win. You're trying to get to 2. The third is like, I made it, or it's like something had to give on one of those 2, and now but I'm not making that last one. And it also kind of goes to the reverse. Don't book 7 classes and be like, I'm making all 7 classes, okay? Because you don't want to, day 2, you had to move something around to feel like you're already behind at the beginning of your week. Make it realistic. So realistic then becomes attainable, which then when you do it, it becomes like a part of a routine, and I can do this. And then maybe you would add something on because you're feeling amazing about yourself. You're feeling great and you're not feeling behind. So I love that we Aunt Barb that you mentioned that, because I think that that's it's applicable to everyone, whether it's work or anything. Like, things get busy and we tend to put ourselves in front of everybody else. Jen, thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Look, showing up for yourself. I'm going to start reading this. I need to jump, but I'm showing up tonight. Okay, well, I want to just
fired up. Who's feeling excited after this? I feel like that was an amazing pep talk. I feel like accomplishing all my goals right now.
But yes, but also I hope you all feel this way. We feel like I should say this. Trisha and I have really benefited from being amazing partners and really appreciating like our differences, but also like bringing different opinions to the table. So we've benefited from that from the beginning. And now I feel like we expose ourselves. That's what we do in our business. We bring this mix of different people. And also we've even, in other groups that we've been in from a business perspective to improve your remix experience, we've realized that you can benefit from this. So like just being in this room and realizing you're not alone, there's people are dealing with this. Like, same. I have serious FOMO. I want to take all of our classes. Like, if we're hiring some, like Katie's like, we need help. We all need help. Yeah. But community is everything.
Right.
And
That's
just, I feel like having that support and realizing you're not alone, realizing that it is doable. It's nice to know you're around like-minded people. And also we are here to support you. Like, you use my Aunt Barb as an example. Like, I use that as motivation all the time. Like when because sometimes I put myself in the I can't do tech bucket. I actually can if I gave it a shot.
You can.
I don't necessarily want to give it a shot, but do you know what I mean? But I put myself in that bucket, and then I realized like, but there's certain things you need to get to know or do. And I don't have to be in this, you don't know anything, you can figure it out. So it's applicable to everything. Anybody else want us to tackle something? And then we're going to kind of look at Ekta. Ekta's like, I needed this. I think she's in her bathroom or in her laundry room.
Oh, look a little Leo. I also want to say too, a major tip on achieving your goals, and a big one, and we're kind of talking about it right now, is to share your goals. I feel like that's huge. Share your goals with someone. You can share them with us. You can share it right now in the chat. But I feel like when you share them and you write them down and you put it out into the universe, kind of like Mary Kate's doing with the water, you're more likely to achieve it, because then people are going to be asking like, hey, what about that water you said you were drinking? You don't want to let everybody down. So it's share away, grab an accountability buddy, join us, like book your VIP call. Like, we're happy to talk to you about it, and we'll help hold you accountable too.
We will. And because I think it helps we want to see you succeed. And also I feel like sometimes people feel like they're being like a burden or like are a lot. In fact, I mean, I personally get revved up when people are succeed. So please, like, lean on us. We want to help. And I feel like in this setting, it's amazing. And like Trisha said, in our VIP setting, we'd love to do it individually as well. But sometimes it's really nice to be, in this setting and share with others. So we have two kind of things that we're going to end with. Number one would be, we really do want you to tackle, set 1 to 3 goals. We want you, when you're doing that, to actually think about, like Trisha said, your why, but then also what tends to get in your way. We want you to write it down for each goal, so you're already preparing yourself for what could possibly happen. So if it's busy, things get in the way. Sometimes I have to miss class. Okay, I know I'm gonna book a couple extra that are extra, just that I are in my calendar. So no matter what, I'm making X amount of classes. Or I'm gonna be drinking more water. I'm going to put the water all around me, and I'm going to tell people, because I want them to remind me as well. I'm not going to be on my phone late at night or early in the morning. If it literally takes putting that post-it up, put it up, because you realize I do go grab it. And in fact, I'm actually going to do that myself, because guilty as charged. Yeah, like I need to put my phone away. But 1 to 3 goals, and we would love for you to share them, to share them with us, to tell others, so that we can hold you accountable, so that you do succeed in what you want to do. And we're going to continue to do this. So we're going to tackle other topics, but we'll be able to come back to this as well. But share in the group, share, if you want to put it on Facebook, if you want to put it on Instagram, if you want to just say it to whoever, so that they hold you accountable, please do, because we feel like it will be really, really helpful in you achieving these goals. The second part is that we are actually introducing what we're calling remix reps. So we have found that people get so much out of remix, and they want to share their experience with others. They want to tell others. They want other people to feel the same way. And so we were trying to figure out the best way to go about it, because we feel like a lot of people do that, but to kind of maybe take it to a different level where you can win additional prizes, and there's sort of some competition around it. So this is going to be application based. So we will put the application out, zero pressure, but if you'd like to, you can fill out the application, and then there will be certain qualifications, like posting a certain number of times during a month, and also bringing friends and family, but you actually win prizes, monetary prizes and things like that. We want to, give people the opportunity if they would like to do this and share more. So we're excited about it. And again, it's literally, if you'd like to, we would love you to. We've found that so many people have been, gotten so much out of remix, and they would like to share it, but sometimes it's nice to have sort of something a little bit more structured, where we even, provide you with some of the content to share with them, and we're giving you links to send out. And then this way they have the opportunity to kind of take classes with you. And again, it's a way to, if you're trying to take more classes or have that extra accountability, to get your friends and family in, and to, offer them the opportunity to come join you as well. Trisha, am I missing anything with that?
Yes, I was looking for the link actually to drop in to share with everyone, but I just wanted to say that it's really going to be a lot of fun. We'll be doing more extra calls like this too, with the remix reps too. So you get more mindset coaching and accountability, and it's free too to join. So it's just,
it's completely free. It's more for us to help all of you. And then in turn, we feel like by you sharing your experience about remix, you can help others as well. So we want to help make you successful, help you attain all of your goals. And if you would like to, take that a little further and, share with others, and, try to get the word out a little bit more, we'd like to get out in the community more. We feel like what you all hopefully experience and get out of remix, we'd like to share with others. And we feel like it's more helpful when there's a group of remix reps. So we hope you enjoyed tonight. Please let us know. What did you think about this? Great. Everyone loved it. I can tell. Everyone, awesome response. Fabulous. Yeah. It's like a class. When everyone's on mute, I'm like, oh, I know you're saying it was amazing.
No, I liked it.
Yes?
Yes, positive.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erica.
Good.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, guys. I just wanted to share. I feel like I've seen the word SMART goals a lot recently, and I went online the other day and I just Googled it, and I printed out this. I like worksheets. I printed out this handy dandy, which I can share. Basically, it just helps jumpstart you, because if you couldn't remember what all the letters mean, and then spaces with examples, I want to drink more water. And then I will track my progress how. And so I'm happy to share those websites or whatever, if that's helpful.
Please do.
Thank you so much. Yeah, even if
I
don't know if you want to share the link, or if you on the.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and find the link.
Or you can take a picture of actually, if you have you can take a picture and just post the printout too.
Yeah, I can totally do that, because I just I like that this one had examples. So because sometimes I just need an example to get me going. So it's my goal is to drink more water. I will aim for 6 cups per day. So specific. And then how will I track it? I'm going to write it down each day in my phone. And then, it's just, I will complete this goal by February, whatever. And so I think I can like copy that and then hopefully snowball from there, like as I learn what works and what doesn't. So yeah, I think
I love that.
yeah,
I
Barbie,
think-
you must have been on the nutrition call the other day because that's what got me thinking about, like, she mentioned it also, and so I printed it out after the nutrition call on Monday.
Yeah, honestly, it all goes together. I feel like fitness and nutrition, it all goes together. So, I mean, you need to start with your goals, same thing. So, yeah, I love that it's all.
The other thing that I find like
time.
motivating is like putting a little reward at the bottom. So for me, I'm doing like a goal for this month and I have a little reward waiting for me. And my reward was 8-pound weights because I don't have 8s at home. So I've been using like a 5 and a 2 in my hand. And I'm like, this is so awkward, but this is what I have to do. And so I actually just ordered them from Target and picked them up today and hid them in my husband's closet, but they're this like beautiful hunter green that I'm like really excited to get to use. And so I'm like, okay, I have to keep plugging away at my goal so I can get this little reward.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm like a child motivated by candy and rewards and
True though.
But we all are. We all want, you're thinking about like the end goal. So it's really good to know, like, I wanted that weight. It's really good to know I do well when I have something coming up. So almost creating, like, if that is your thing, creating something that you're looking forward to, you know, like it's all about figuring out yourself, what you want and what motivates you, and then how to just put those things into place. And also I think it's really good to set small goals that you can attain and also pay attention to what you did accomplish. Because like Sarah, you're saying, I want to, and I don't know what you set to eventually get to get these weights, and feel free to share if you want, but whatever you have to do. But once you get those weights, acknowledge everything that you did to get to those weights, because that will give you motivation for the next thing. So pay attention to your accomplishments, because it'll really keep you going and give you, continue to give you momentum and continue to, give you that extra like burst of energy that frankly, I just got tonight. I thank you for all being here.
Yes,
this
thank
is
you so much.
This to me is so motivating because truthfully, I feel like it's really good to share, but it's been crazy, this whole thing, this whole time for everyone. And what keeps me really motivated is seeing our community succeed, our community get so much out of what we're doing, because it makes it worth it. So we'll just keep pouring into it because we get so much out of it.
Yes.
But like in line with that too, Mary Kate, one of the things I say in work, obviously we're talking a lot about my work, but the world is so heavy and we need to do things to lighten it up. This is a perfect example of that. And Mary Kate has a cousin who is an industrial psychologist, and I love her work as well. And she had an event the other night where she shared that 36% of the world is in a serious loneliness state. 36%. That's just crazy, right? So events like this, communities like you build, are just changing the world. There's a lot of negativity out there. There's a lot of heaviness. So thank you for making it light and bringing all of us to a different place.
Thank you for sharing that. And honestly, like Mary Kate said, thank you everyone for being a part of this community and joining tonight and sharing with everyone and inspiring and motivating so many around you. Sometimes we don't even realize who we are motivating and inspiring. So thank you all. I'm excited to hear everyone's goals.
Yes.
Great.
Please share them with us because we want to know. And for real, if you see me without a water bottle, you are allowed to yell at me. Like if I don't have one, look, you're allowed. But it's good. Put it out there. Yeah. Look, all of you will be drinking water tonight. And see then.
Mary Kate, I feel like it's because you're constantly moving and talking. There's no chance for the water to like the water doesn't stand a chance with you, which is
I think there's something to that. So that's why I need it like literally.
Maybe you get like a Camelback,
Yeah.
You just walk around and sip on it.
Like the marathon runners. Like you put on your back.
I think I need that. Yeah. Well, if this is not working, then I may be purchasing that.
Your
That'll be our
homework.
next thing.
That's your
If
reward.
anyone's, oh, a helmet. Oh my God, Aunt, I need the helmet.
People might think you need to go to AA if you walk in. Be like, is that a beer helmet thing? But honestly, I about that like rep thing or just encouraging people. There's a girl that I know, honestly, I barely know her. But I just found out that she's celebrated 2 years sobriety and has been like working out. And I was like, come to my gym. Like, you live in Abington, come to Remix. And she was like, oh, I've driven by that place. I've wanted to try it. And so I'm hoping to bring her along sometime in the next couple of weeks and get her hooked. As just like a great outlet for
Oh,
energy
amazing.
and
That's
stress and
Yes. And truthfully, you'd be surprised. I mean, just like we've all felt it, like we need, community and fitness and just like health, like wellness to be around that. So many else do. So feel free to share. I mean, I love that you shared it with her and you only know her a little bit, but even I feel like at work, in moms groups, like it's interesting. I feel like we all need it. So thank you for sharing and realize that, there's probably a lot of other people that need it as well. So, share, and we always are happy they get a free week. We want to encourage them to take time for themselves and take care of themselves. So thank you everybody for coming on tonight. We're looking forward to more of these, and we will make sure to post the link about the Remix reps, and then please share your goals with us. We want to help you get there and continue to achieve results and make connections like these, and for you to find your mix. So thank you. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Have a great
Thanks,
night.
guys. Night.